Hello there, and welcome to this episode of the Movies in Focus podcast. I'm Niall Brown. On this bite-sized episode of the Movies in Focus podcast, I talk with director Renny Harlin. In the 1990s, Harlin delivered some of the decade's most memorable entertaining films, like Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, The Long Kiss Goodnight, and my favourite go-to killer shark film, Deep Blue Sea. Now, he's turning his attention back to the horror genre with Strangers Chapter 2, the latest entry in the home invasion franchise. Harlin discusses what drew him to the material, how he approached building tension in this new chapter, and reflects on a career that has balanced spectacle, style, and scares. I also managed to squeeze in a question about his latest killer shark film, Deep Water. As always, I hope you enjoy what we have to talk about.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
I'm all good. Thank you for taking the time today. I'm a huge fan going back years, so it really is an honor to be chatting with you.
Oh, awesome. I appreciate it very much. I'm glad to be talking with you.
And I mean, the film really, The Strangers Chapter 2 really kept me guessing. I mean, it really is. A lot of films have Chapter 2 in the title and they're just a sequel. This really is a continuation. Is that something that you wanted from the very start?
Very much. When the studio offered me this movie, I was first very hesitant because I thought that it was just going to be a remake of The Strangers, which is a great classic. But when I realized that we were making, in essence, a 4.5 hour movie that was a real deep dive exploration into these characters, both the protagonist and the antagonist, and basically the setup was like, okay, if you take the first movie and you said the female character doesn't die, what happens next day? And instead of doing a sequel where you make a movie and if it's successful, then 2 or 3 years later you make another one which necessarily doesn't have anything to do with the first one because everybody's changed and everybody's older and the world is different. I think this was a unique opportunity to basically tell a story that takes place in around 4 days, and first movie is kind of the remake of the original. It's a home invasion, but then the second movie gives us the opportunity to just go wild and leave that setting and go bigger, but following the same characters. It was a very rare opportunity.
And it must be, I mean, to go to a studio, I mean, it's happened with like maybe Lord of the Rings where they've shot three films together, but for a horror franchise, they rarely do that. Was that a real leap of faith? Was that something you wanted? How does that work as a
Yeah.
an idea?
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy idea and completely unprecedented in the horror world. And I don't know, somehow we convinced the studio that that was a good idea, and we were lucky because it worked out. And of course, we were very nervous when the first one came out last year, and then when it was successful, the studio actually came to us and said, "Would you like some more money so that you can even enhance what you have?" And I said, hell yeah, whose idea was it anyhow to shoot 3 movies in 53 days? Give us more money. And they gave us more money, and we were able to go back and do even some additional shooting to, expand things a little bit. And also, to be honest, to respond to what the fans were saying, which was, we want to know more about the strangers. We want to understand a little more, while the of course the fascination of this particular franchise is that the killings are random, and these people are just random sociopathic killers. But at the same time, it's I think it's interesting for the audience to get to look behind the scenes a little bit and start figuring out who they are and why this is happening.
And you've sort of said you shot them together. You've directed huge movies, but shooting three films together, logistically, how does that work? And what sort of planning goes into something like that?
A lot of planning, and these movies were not shot back to back. They were shot on top of each other, so we could be in the same day, we could be shooting movie scenes for all 3 movies. And just the logistical challenge of keeping everybody's mind in the right place, the actors emotionally, in terms of what kind of damage they have, injuries and blood, and their clothes are torn, and all these things. It definitely took a lot of planning, and I made these sort of emotional charts so that I could see in 273-page script every page and every scene to remember what is the emotional state, what's going on, what happened before, what's going to happen after this, how much do they know at this point, because it's you take scene 147 and then you just like, okay, this is happening, but like, oh, what happened before this? You have to be able to, as a director, always tell everybody, the crew and the cast, exactly where we are and what's going on. So it took a lot of planning, and I shortlisted the whole movie, about 5,000 shots beforehand, before anything was shot. So I had planned every shot in every movie and try to create a visual arc that would, let the movies breathe and grow and go from a home invasion into something much bigger in the second one, and then even in new and surprising directions in the third one.
And when you get to post-production, have you, obviously we're talking about the release of the chapter 2, have you edited chapter 3 already, or are you still tinkering with that?
We literally just finished, literally in the last couple of weeks, we finished editing chapter 3, and now we are finishing the music and sound and all that, which are very important elements, especially in a horror movie. So those will take a few more weeks to do, and then the movie will be completely finished. And the studio, I think they are planning to go for a wide release for it as well next year. We'll see. I'm hoping for spring, early summer, but we'll see.
I look forward to that one as well. And just finally, before we go, one final question. One of my favorite films of yours is Deep Blue Sea. You've got another shark film coming out, Deep Water. When can we expect that?
Excellent question. You will know on Monday. I just spoke to the producer literally before this, and they just locked the release date, which I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you it's next year, and it's at a very good time for a big epic shark disaster movie. And on Monday you can read that in the papers. I apologize that I can't tell you now.
Don't worry. Do you know what? That's more than enough to know that it's coming, and I look forward to it. And
That's all the
hopefully
time I
we
have
can
today.
speak then.
Absolutely, we will.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Movies in Focus podcast. You can download it wherever you get your podcasts, and I hope that you tell your friends about it. That's it for this time, and I'll see you at the movies.